I want to read some of what guys had to say about you and see what you think about this. This is what Lee Haney once said about you. Lee Haney's another 8-timer.
Yeah, that's my
Both
idol.
of you guys are 8-timers, and you have a lot of good things to say about him. He said, in the world of professional bodybuilding, the name Ronnie Coleman stands alone. There has never been an athlete physically able or willing to take the sport beyond the limits of human expectations. Ronnie did it to the extent that the sport may never witness again. That's what Lee Haney said. Here's what Arnold had to say. Ronnie became a whole new dimension. It was unbelievable. He showed bodybuilders that there was a whole other way of size and proportion. When you hear me read this stuff to you from your peers, these are people you admired, came before you, during your time.
Yeah.
What does that make you think about?
Oh, like you said, ain't nothing like respect from your fellow competitors, because I had no idea that any of those guys had said that stuff, you know.
You said one time, there is no better feeling than being able to say, I'm a master overachiever. I have mastered being an overachiever.
Yeah.
Why'd you say that? Why is that so important to you?
Well, because I've always tried to be the best at everything that I've ever done, and once I've accomplished it, you know, it always took some time. You know, nothing happened overnight. So it ain't nothing like having your hard work pay off, because you know, when I put myself to a task of doing something, I go all. So I just happen to be genetic gift for strength and bodybuilding.
Did you ever in your mind
So I'm a different beast.
do you really believe, like, maybe, did you ever get to a point of thinking you're like a superhero type of person? Maybe you are like an anomaly?
That's how I felt when I was in the gym.
Okay.
I felt like I was Superman.
It's funny you
Was
say that.
nothing I couldn't do.
Got it. Well, you felt like
I
there's
felt
nothing
like
you
that.
couldn't do.
Yeah, I actually felt like it. I felt I could be injured. Sure did.
Do you think that
Never crossed my mind, not one time while I was in the gym, of being injured. Never. Because I was so strong and I was so in control. So I'm like, this stuff can't hurt me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's why that's why I did that 800. That's why I did that 2,300 pound leg press. You gotta have it right mentally first to even just get up under that kind of stuff.
Do you think thinking you're untouchable and you're Superman-esque, because that happens to athletes, that happens to boxers, that happens to people that make it to your level. I'm not talking like to your level is not 1%.
Yeah.
Your level is not 1% of 1%.
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Well, you can, because let's
Exactly.
face it, if you look at,
Because I remember when I lost, I was in shock. 'Cause I didn't think I could be beat.
when you're
That's
going
how
in
confident I was. You know?
before they announced it, you were certain they're going to call you.
Oh yeah, like 1,000%. Like I had been all those other times. You know, you kind of like, you fall in some form of monotony after a while, like, okay, I don't want this like 7, 8 times in a row, or what's 9? I was never in it to look a certain way, you know. I was in it to be good and to be great, but not to look a certain way. That's why I was going to tell you now that, you know, the way I look back then, you know, that was all good and great, but I wasn't in it to look a certain way. I was in it to be great. So now that I'm not even competing anymore, I'm still the same way. I'm not in it to look a certain way. I'm in it just for you know, the enjoyment of being in the gym, working out and being healthy. So I'm not going for a certain look. I've always just went into the gym to have fun and enjoy myself and, you know, just be in there, but not to look a certain way. I didn't know I had 22-inch arms until somebody told me.
Did anybody ever try to pull any kind of pranks on you backstage?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Why not?
Everybody's so involved in, I mean, it's so stressful. You got so much to remember and think about. You can't, ain't no time to joke around.
Nobody played mind games like the way you hear an Iron Man with what Arnold was doing to Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah, you know, it's so much on the line, you know. Back when they were doing it, you know, they wasn't making no money or nothing. This is our livelihood, you know. This is how we make our money.
Got it.
So everybody is straight 100, 1,000% serious. There's no joking around whatsoever.
So,
Nobody's even in the mood to joke. Everybody's in a bad mood too.
No one's talking to each other backstage.
Nobody's talking to each other. We all in the same room ain't saying nothing to each other. Everybody's got their head down, either reading, thinking about what they got to do once they get out there on stage. Nothing.
You know how sometimes in wrestling they say, one of the wrestlers who's a world champion, he says, I hug my opponent to see how much, would you guys hug to see how hard, you know how?
Nobody's making no contact, no talking, no nothing.
Not even, hey Ronnie, how you doing? How's
nothing,
family?
Nothing
Not even flex your boy.
Not even flex your boy. Everybody's game face. They're like, oh, we going to war with each other. I started when I was 12 and I still hadn't stopped. You know, after what, 12 surgeries? So I'm still hanging in there with all the pain and everything.
What is it about bodybuilding that gives you the love of the game? I mean,
it's like a hobby, you know, something like you really enjoy doing. Like some people like going fishing and hunting and all that stuff. I got a few friends that enjoy doing that stuff, but it's just a hobby, something that I love to do. You know, I've always done it my whole entire life, and I always look forward to doing it. That's another. People used to always ask me, how did I work full time for the police department and do bodybuilding at the same time? I told them I was doing two things that I love doing.